But despite that dominant victory, Arizona is still in a four-way tie atop the NFC West, as Seattle and San Francisco both won on the road in the early games, while Matthew Stafford dazzled in primetime in his Rams debut with a win over the Bears. What a start. Shannon, after what you saw yesterday, who wins the NFC West?
Yeah, we've been talking about this all along. This is the toughest division in football.
I think by far.
All the quarterbacks. Stafford was 321 and 3 touchdowns. Kyler Murray was 289 and 5 total touchdowns. Russell had 4 touchdowns and 5 incompletions. And Jimmy G threw for over 300 yards, and they scored 41. So if you put my feet to the fire, which they are right now, I got to pick one. I think I'm going to take the Rams because I believe they're they have two of the best defensive players on the same team. Now, Chandler Jones was on another level. They're going to have to pay him sooner than later, Skip. But
5 sacks?
5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 4 tackles for losses. And so I'm gonna take the Rams, Skip. But I think Matthew Stafford in this offense and what he can do, and I know it's one game, Skip, and I say I know it's one game, but you got to admit he looked good. He looked good, Skip. And what can he be in this offense? I'm not saying he's going to, but in the West Coast system, when you look at Patrick Mahomes in the system, a guy that can throw the ball over your head and he's got great mobility, can make all the throws. Because Matthew Stafford did a sidearm last night.
He did.
John Elway in this system, Brett Favre in this system, Rodgers, guys that have big, powerful arms that can throw the ball over the top. That's what he can do. I'm going to take them. But the Cardinals are not to be messed with.
Nope.
With Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt, and then those 2 linebackers inside with Isaiah Simmons and Zaven Collins, and Buda Baker on the back end. Skip, this division, all 4 teams might make the playoffs. The division winner and the 3 might be the wild cards. I'll put it to you like that, Skip. That's the best I got for you.
I'm going to start at the bottom with the young quarterback I like the most. Trey Lance has he's got a chip bone in his index finger of his throwing hand. He got in for a couple plays.
Threw a dub.
Touchdown pass to Trent Sherfield.
Bad guy.
University. They're everywhere. But the point is, I'm afraid they're going to be the odd team out because I think they're going to have a quarterback quandary going forward. Like, which way do we go? And they lost Mostert yesterday.
Yeah. And they lost their DB.
Yeah, I know. And it does, with the running backs, they just put in another one, and he'll go for 130. And they put in that kid yesterday, and he went for 130. But the point is, they're going to have a hard time until they decide which way to go at quarterback.
Correct.
Now, Matt Stafford lit up the night last night on Sunday Night Football, and I heard this morning they already gave him a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame because of it, but I'm not going to buy completely in just yet. To your point, I rode with Kyler last year, and they were riding high until about midway, and he got beat up, and that was the end of that deal.
Right.
Can they keep him a little cleaner and healthier this year? I'm going to say he's learned some lessons about how quickly to get down and how to get down in the pocket. I think they are the force to be reckoned with because they went to Tennessee yesterday and dismantled. It's 38-13. Are you kidding? Because I thought Tennessee was respectable.
That defense.
Okay. All right. But I thought they were just going to be respectable. Tannehill sort of found a rebirth there under Vrabel. And I just thought that Derrick Henry could get his 100, but he couldn't. He couldn't get out of the blocks. And this was a tour de force by a team on the verge of doing great things. So I'm going to ride with Kyler again. I'm going to give them a slight edge in by far the best division.
Over Seattle?
Over Seattle.
Wow, okay.
And over the Rams.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they win the division.
Right.
Again, those other, like you said, it's got potential for all 4 to make the playoffs because they're that good.
They really, and Russ, but Skip, the thing that concerns me about Russ, we've seen this the last 2 years.
Yep.
Russ get off to this blazing start until about week 10. And then all of a sudden, he starts coming back down to earth. But he takes off straight up like a rocket. I mean, he's probably by week 10, Russ will have 32, 33 touchdowns. But Skip, this division looked really tough. And the defenses, I think the Rams got a defense. The Cards finally, with Vance Joseph dialing it up, he got 2 bookends.
Firepower.
Got 2 linebackers that can float to the ball, and Buda Baker on the back end still making plays. It's going to be very interesting in this division.
Here we go.
We still haven't talked about this guy. Number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, made his debut yesterday, but did he get outshined by that number? And then the Steelers scored 17 in the fourth quarter to secure a 23-16 win. And afterward, Roethlisberger said, quote, "I'm proud of the guys because they didn't blink. They stood up in the face of not playing well early." And Skip, you know, you've been big on Pittsburgh as a playoff team all offseason. So, Shannon, are you ready to buy into the Steelers as a playoff team after that?
Big N. Long O. No.
No.
The Buffalo gagged this one off. Yeah, they did. That's a tough place to play. Mind you, now Buffalo has something to play for. They've gotten better over the last couple of years. That place started to rocking. But Skip, look. You can't. The Bills outgained about 119 yards, ran 24 more plays, had 5 more minutes time of possession. Why in the hell would you let Josh Allen throw the ball 51 times? When you're running, you're getting 6.5 yards a clip, and you ask him to drop back and throw it 51 times against that. The one thing the Steelers pride themselves on in doing is being able to get after your quarterback. Did they not see T.J. Watt? He was there. I know maybe they didn't get the memo. Maybe they got snail mail, and they missed the part that he signed a contract extension, and he's going to be there because it's like, we just going to drop back and throw it to pass. And I'm like, and I could tell because the opening kickoff, they run it back to the 25-yard line, Skip, and they go throw. I'm like, what the hell? You ain't going to try to throw, like, you ain't going to try to run one pass? It seems to me, Skip, Josh Allen is the MVP favorite. Well, we're going to let him get 400 on opening day, and the thing going to look really good. Josh Allen throws a front NFL MVP front runner. Josh Allen throws for 400 on opening day. Steelers say, no, you're not. This, Skip, I'm going to give the Steelers credit. They hung around. They went 5 straight punts to start the game. When you could have, like, put the game out of reach by running the football, you let them hang around because you throw, and you going up out of the game, and then you let T.J. Watt take the game over by taking the ball away. This was a lot more about what Buffalo didn't do, as opposed to what the Steelers did do. Give them credit. They hung around, and Ben talked about this. We didn't blink. The crowd was in the game, Skip. They got out, 10-0, and they said, you know what? We're still here. It should be 17-0. Maybe it should be 20-0. But we're still in this ball game. So, hey, let's stay. And the next thing you know, you look up. Now you're like, well, what happened? Well, you let Josh Allen throw the ball 51 times against that defense. He turned it over. You gave up a punt block. And I'm like, how you give up a punt block in that situation, guys? And everybody I'm looking at Skip, everybody looking back like, oh, damn, I hope that ain't my man. Bro, block. Buy a ticket if you want to watch the punter. Buy a ticket if you want to watch somebody block. Block.
I tried to warn you.
You ain't warned me nothing.
I tried to tell you. You wouldn't listen. You wouldn't listen. I love Pittsburgh's head coach. I've told you 100 times on this show, if I could play pro football, I'd want to play for that man. You want to talk about a pregame speech motivator. And I still love Big Ben Roethlisberger. His arm is getting stronger and stronger after that elbow reconstruction that plagued him all of last year. But I will remind you, as you well remember, they did win their first 11 last year, and it's hard in this league to win 11 straight games, and then the wheels came off because they finished dead last in rushing. So they went out later in the first round, and they drafted what they thought was the best rusher on the market. Najee Harris from Alabama. Crimson Tide, Roll Tide, and he didn't really roll yesterday because he only averaged 2.8 yards per carry. 16 times he rushed for 45 yards. So he wasn't the difference. But Ben, even though he had a very low QBR, was Brady-esque. He made the plays that had to get made because they're down 10-0 at halftime, and they scored on their first 4 possessions of the second half. Really? First 4 possessions. You realize the Steelers at Buffalo in front of that crazed crowd, they won the second half 23-6. That's all you need to know, 23-6. And Ben made every big little play that he needed to make. And he got a big pass interference on it. He threw one up to Claypool, who got a pass interference, and then he threw one to Deontay Johnson in the corner of the end zone if we could see this.
Been a heck of a play.
And so the DB, because this is well covered, and he made a heck of a play.
Right.
And that's the kind of play